It's Rob!
Tony!
And I'm Jeff.
We're in gaming.
And that's you.
Hello gamers and welcome back to the End. I'm Ron.
I'm Tony and I'm actually joining this time.
Yes, so this should be our last episode. If not, it's going to be second to last. Either way, hopefully we'll be able to wrap up everything here. There's a ton of neutral cards, but most of them are vanilla, so we'll be able to push through them extremely quickly. So starting off with Shaman, I'll start off with this one, then you can take off the next one. So we have Evolve. It's a 1-drop, transform your minions into random minions that cost 1 or more. Really, really cool. A ton of value if you have, let's say, a bunch of totems out, and you decide, you get a bunch of 2-drops basically for the price of 1. I think it's going to be a card we're going to see a lot of. And we also, Master of Evolution, it kind of has the same ability as that. Yeah. Master of Evolution actually targets a card and says, transform this into a minion with with a mana cost of 1 or higher. This actually does your entire board for just the price of 1 mana. Also, the picture of it looks pretty fucking cool.
It does. It's good because it kind of gives... is that an abusive sergeant that's been fucking... Oh my god, that's awesome. It's good because it gives you more incentive to have, your shitty hero power get some value.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, Primal Fusion. More totem related things, trying to give totems more values. It's a 1-drop spell that says give a minion +1/+1 for each of your totems. So depending on how many you have out, if you have a totem golem, a healing totem, and a spell power totem, maybe a mana totem. That's 4 there. So 1-drop, give 4/4, becomes a king's. I think if you have at least 2 totems, this card will be worth it. You have to have at least 2 totems though. Giving it +1/+1 for 1, you might as well just play a 1-drop.
I would have to agree. Totem Golem, remember? Totem Golem counts as your totem.
Yep, Mana totem, Flame Tongue totem.
All that good totem stuff.
All that good stuff.
All right.
Pretty much it for that.
2-drop, 3/2, Eternal Sentinel, and he says, Battle Cry. Unlock your overloaded mana crystals. So he's basically a lava shock, doesn't deal 2 damage, but has the same ability of unlocking your unloaded mana crystals. So like we saw in the live stream, but if you didn't catch it, the Shaman Elemental Destruction cleared the board. He played down this 2-drop. It's a 3/2 in stats, so the stats are pretty good. And he basically got the same effect as Lava Shock, but he actually summoned a minion instead of dealing 2 damage. So it depends on what kind of deck you're playing. Let's say you're playing Face Shaman, Lava Shock is a better fit as it goes face and deals 2 damage. If you're playing more of a mid-range control type Shaman, obviously you value playing a creature more so than dealing direct damage. Obviously you also don't need to clear the board after you Elemental Destruction because the damage should have hopefully cleared the field. So
unless you're playing something like Mali Shaman, where the 2 damage was valuable because you deal 7 damage and unlock crystals with Malagos. Yeah. Stormcrack. People were calling this card. Yeah, it's pretty cool. People were calling this a replacement for Crackle, but I don't really know about that because it's a 2-drop and it deals 4 damage to a minion, but overloads 1. So it's very control based. It's very much about field control. So this would be really good for your mid-range shamans and your control-based shamans. There's a lot of support going to those classes. People think that mid-range shaman is going to be dominating the meta.
I really don't think it's going to be as good as people think.
We'll see. There's
just like Totem Shaman was supposed to be a thing.
Hey, Totem Shaman works well when it works well. When it works well, it's scary, but that's like 1 every 20 games. So.
It works well 50% of the time, 100% of the time.
Yeah. 22% of the time, it works 100% of the time. Deal 4 damage to minion, overloaded 1. It's pretty simple. Stronger than a Frostbolt.
Forgot to change the background.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's what I'm saying.
What is that one called? Blood something?
I don't know.
Blood fusion? Blood transfusion? Anyway, that's it for this. I like it because it's control-based.
Flame, Wretched,
Wreathed,
Faceless. Basically replacing the 4-drops the Shaman's never had. It's a 7/7, so it's fucking huge. On top of that, because BGH is turning into a 5-drop, so let's say you play this, your opponent either plays BGH on turn 5 and all they do is develop a 4/2 and they did kill your 7/7, or they don't play BGH and whatever they play literally gets manslaughtered by this extremely large faceless manipulator looking like it's holding some sort of a red-yellow Sharingan.
Red-yellow. People were saying that this card won't see play for the same reasons that Earth Elemental did, but that was also pre-BGH nerf, and also Earth Elemental overloads you 3, which is way bigger of a deal. And also it costs 5, so this isn't even the same card. I don't understand how people are making that connection.
Let's say Earth Elemental costs how much?
5.
5, and
7,
it overloads you 3, which means following to this, going on to the second turn, you've got 6,
mana.
and then you have 3 mana. And on turn 6, 3 mana is not so great, but let's say on turn 4, you play a huge creature, and you can follow that up with a 3-drop.
On turn 5.
On turn 5, which is better than playing a 3-drop on turn 6.
Yeah.
So, granted, this guy doesn't have Taunt. I mean, if you're looking for a Taunt on turn 4, 5, and you need it that badly, you probably have lost the game.
Yeah, so he'll be good, especially
in Arena.
Oh my god. That was so weird.
Let's not do that again. Next card.
Okay, so we are on to Warlock. This is a 3-drop, 1/5. Stats, not the greatest. It's
Health is okay.
I mean, health is okay, but 1.
But his ability, though.
Okay, after you summon a minion, this gets...
A minion.
This gets 1 attack. So it'll synergize well in Wild because of things like... I guess that's true. Because of things like Implosion, anything that's token-based or anything you throw down a lot of Haunted Creepers, those will get summoned, yes. Because so then those will even give this a buff. And remember, it's this that gives buff, not the creatures. And he's only 3 drops. So it's a solid, for a common, I think he's pretty damn solid. He also has no neck. If you look at the picture, he has literally no neck. He's one fucking weird and giant arms. I don't really have too much of an opinion on this. Then again, I'm not the greatest Warlock, so what do you want to say about it?
I like it a lot, to be honest. It kind of... It reminds me of like a reverse knife juggler. Like, he doesn't deal damage. He's actually gaining attack to be able to do that damage the following turn. Having 5 HP puts him out of range of swipe, frostbolt ping. They're gonna have to use a fireball on him. They use a fireball, they've wasted a 4 mana card on just a 3 mana's worth of creature.
Right.
On top of that, they released the card that we're gonna be going over shortly, but it summons tentacles based on how much mana you have left over. So let's say on turn 5 or 6, you play this guy and you combo that with the tentacle. All of a sudden, this guy's a 3/5 or a 4/5, and you also have 2 to 3 more tentacles that your opponent's going to have to deal with. So that's a huge tempo play, and it puts a lot of creatures on the board.
Did you hear Dog say power word testicles?
I did.
That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen on the stream.
Power word
Testicles. This is a 5-drop, 5/6 Warlock minion, common. Solid stats. It's basically a pit fighter, right?
This wallpaper is super high res.
It is extremely high res. It makes our camera look shitty.
I know.
Why don't we use our nice camera for these? We have a badass camera. Why don't we use it?
Usher of Souls, Tony.
Usher of Souls. Whenever a friendly minion dies, give your Cthulhu +1/+1. So unless you have a board full and are willing to make a bunch of trades, which if you have a board full by turn 5, like if you flooded the board by turn 5, you're probably not playing a control-based Cthulhu deck to begin with. So I don't really see this as one of the better follower mechanics of Cthulhu, but it is cool. And let's say you implosion the turn before, and you have a bunch.
Granted, you're playing wild mode.
You'd be playing wild mode. We have to consider wild. We can't just talk about only standard.
All right, you can consider wild, and I'll consider the format that matters.
Okay, so you implosion. Let's say you get the average 3. And the next turn you play this, and you trade those in to a 3/3 taunt, or just a creature that has 3 health.
Iron Fur Grizzly, one of the most seen cards played in wild.
Yeah, exactly. And regardless of the stats or what actual creature it is, if you manage to kill those off, your Cthulhu will get +3/+3 simply by just playing your 5-drop 5/4, 5/6, 5-drop 5/6.
I also think they kind of they had an idea of what decks are going to use Cthulhu and work with the best. And Warlock,
I don't see it.
Yeah, they're kind of just like.
I see Yogg.
I see Yogg. I see Yogg.
Yeah, most definitely. So.
Or maybe even Nazoth or whatever his name is.
Some sort of Death Rattle deck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Cthulhu will work with Warlock, but they kind of just like cards like this make me think they really just didn't care.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Still, we'll see.
I mean, it fits the Warlock flavor.
It fits. All right, I won't say shit. It works out all right. It's just not the best. It's not in comparison to some of the other Cthulhu buffers that we've seen, like the Druid one. This it's a 5/7 or a 6/7 or something retarded. And it has Taunt, too, and it gives your Cthulhu +3/+3. It's absolutely incredible. Okay, so 0-drop, this is the card we were referring to before that works well with the other card, the 3-drop 1/5. It says spend all your mana, Summon that many 1/1 testicles.
Summon.
Yes.
The testicles.
Summon the testicles. This goes along with, like we've seen, the priest card that summons a creature, the spell power card, or not the spell power card, but the spell damage card that deals damage based on how much mana you're missing. What card did we go over earlier that also had 0 mana? I forgot what class.
Was it the druid one? The druid had a 1 mana creature.
Yes, the druid had the 1 mana creature that, based on how much mana you didn't have, it gained that much attack and defense. So this kind of goes along with the cards that they gave everybody, They gave everybody the 0 or 1 drop that benefited off how much mana you have left over based on when you're
Paladin
using
heals for double the amount.
Yeah. Cool. So I guess that's cool, but I don't know. I think they should have only done it for some classes. Like they're making the classes homogeneous, which is like the same problem they made in WoW to begin with. They made all of the classes be able to do what all the other classes did because all of the people were complaining. They're like, oh, I play Shaman and I want to cast Frostbolt or some, they just wanted all the classes.
I wanted a melee
spec. The person who played Hunter wanted some ability that the Warlock had, and, this guy wanted this and this guy wanted this. So they said, okay, you know what? Mages, you now have Bloodlust,
But I mean, the soul of each card they're giving is different.
Yeah.
Paladins have a heal. Priest I think doesn't fit.
Paladins have more heals than priests.
I know, but the priest one makes the least sense of any of them.
Yeah.
Summon a random based on the cost. Like, it's just so random. So
it sounds like a mage card, if anything.
Yeah, that's super mage, so I don't understand why.
I don't know.
It's weird.
I saw a Reddit post on that, actually. I was thinking about it, and then I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, look, someone wrote about it on Reddit. But yeah, it was, we'll see. Can't complain.
2-drop 3/2, Darkshire Librarian. It is a rare. I had to think of the difference.
I did not like this card.
They're trying to push the whole discard a card function, but there's 2 cards. Only 2 cards that benefit.
You watched it when they mentioned it on the stream? The Tiny Knight and the Fist of Draxus?
There's Tiny Knight, Fist of Draxus. Thanks, Matt. Matt just flicked us off. It's good stuff. There's only 2 cards that synergize well, and it hasn't worked before. And there's plenty of ways to get rid of cards in Warlock, so it's not like this was a missing mechanic.
Dark Bargain. Oh, card I've never seen played once, ever.
What does that do?
Exactly. It's a 6-drop. Destroy 1 or 2 of your opponent's creatures, discard 2 cards or something like that. It's a card that if you don't know it.
I'm just saying, but there is no lack of discard mechanics in Warlock. Soulfire.
Yeah. Doomguard.
Doomguards. There's plenty. So this isn't really needed, and the stats are solid. 2-drop 3/2. It's like a
Succubus.
pre-nerf knife juggler, and then when it dies, you draw a card. So
I don't like it.
There's just not enough discard synergy.
If it was like a 3/3, maybe.
Oh man, that'd be really good though.
No, wouldn't it be? You discard a card, but then you draw a card when it dies. So essentially, by playing it, you need to give up something because you're summoning a bigger statted creature for the price of lower mana. So you have to give something up. Like Succubus, when you play her, she's a 4/3, and it says discard a card. So why wouldn't you just play Succubus instead of her?
Yes. Yeah, I don't.
And
really
they can even silence her.
Yep.
So they can even, there's just a lot of things that can happen.
If it was the reverse, it might be better. Battlecry, draw a card, Death Rattle, discard.
Yes.
That would be.
Yes.
It'd be a solid card if it was that way.
Oh yeah. I like that a lot. I like that a lot better. All right, Warrior, Bloodhoof Brain, 4-drop, 2/6, taunt, enrage +3 attack. So he's basically a Senjin Shield Master, but instead of having 3 attack, he has 2 attack, and instead of having 5 HP, he has 6 HP. But he also has the ability...
Wow, exact same card.
I mean, he's holding a shield.
He is indeed holding a shield.
And he's a Tarn instead of a Troll. So it's the same card. Dingo. Okay, so it's decent. It's not the best. It's not the worst. But you know what? It's really not that bad if you're going against aggro decks when their biggest card probably only has 2 or 3 attack anyway, or 2 or 3 HP anyway.
I think this is the first enrage mechanic since Warbot from GVG. They do not have a lot of enrage cards.
They don't like the enrage cards.
I mean, it's cool. It's just, I don't know.
I think enrage is pretty annoying because most of the time you're wanting to get rid of that creature
without
enraging it, because
shot.
The second it enrages, you're able to make really good trades with it. So I think it's more of an annoying kind of ability.
Like if you compare this with it's
not even pairing it. It's just a solid ability that if you're playing against a control deck, and you make a trade with it to begin with. So let's say you kill a 2-drop with it, and now it's a
You have to fireball it.
It's a 5/4, and you already killed a card with it. And a 5/4 can trade into at least some 5-drops, if not some 6-drops. So it's really not that bad. It's not great.
It'll be good in Arena, I think. It'll be really solid in Arena.
I think it definitely.
I'll also be considering cards for Arena, because I like Arena.
Yeah.
Okay, Blood to Ichor. Ichor. Deal 1 damage to a minion. If it survives, summon a 2/2 slime. Obviously, this is not a turn 1 play. Obviously, this isn't... I mean, it could be a turn 2 play.
You can kill a leper gnome with it.
You
kill a little hoarder with it.
But then you don't get the 2/2.
Oh, yeah, it has to survive.
It has to survive. So this is obviously not something you want in your opening hand. I don't even see it really being in the Control Warrior. In Patron, you could deal 1 damage to your own minion, your own Patron. You get another 3/3 and a 2/2.
If the 2/2 had the slime had taunt, that'd be pretty cool.
That would be too good. That'd be too good. A 1-drop, deal 1 damage, and get a 2/2 taunt. Okay, Rob. Okay.
I like Warrior.
Plus get another 3/3 from Patron.
I like Warrior.
That would be insane. But I think it's a solid card. I think in Arena it'll be good for some board control. You can, if you play it early, like let's say...
It reminds me of a lot of the Hunter card that we talked about. Deal 1 damage.
Did you already... You know that thing does not have charge too, right?
I know it didn't have charge. I mentioned it. If it did have charge, it'd be good, but I knew it didn't have charge, so it's shit.
Yes. So it's okay. I think it'll even be decent in Arena, just because it can ping something low enough to make a trade and you still get a 2/2.
True that. All right, so this is the card I was actually referring to. For some reason, I thought it was a rogue card, but it's not.
This card is so good.
It's really, really good. It's a 3-drop, 3/4 pirate, and it says battle cry. If you control a pirate, give your weapon 1/1, which is basically an upgrade. So you basically get a 3-drop, 3/4, which is really solid stats. Like that's the best stats you're basically going to get as a 3-drop. It's
Without
a pirate.
some sort of destroying of...
Yeah, without some sort of discard your hand, give a leg. And it's a pirate, so definitely does well with the pirate synergies. And your weapon gets 1/1. And if you think about it, they released that 1-drop 1/3 start off your weapon with a 1/3. So if you use this, your weapon turns into a 2/4, which is basically 8 damage.
So if you can coin into this on turn 2, you got a 1-drop,
you get
1/1, and a 1/3 weapon.
He's
and
a 1/3.
He's a 1/1, and you get a 1/3 weapon.
Are you positive?
A 1-drop 1/3 that gives you a 1/3 would be fucking insane.
For some reason, I thought he was
he's a 1/1.
Okay. All right, never mind.
But anyway, a 1-drop 1/1 that gives you a 1/3. Turn 2, you coin into this. You
Rusty
have a 2/4 weapon and a 3/4 body and a 1/1 body. That's a lot of value.
That's a lot going on in one turn.
I used to think I thought it was weird that they're giving pirates to Warrior. Like, there's a lot of pirate synergy now in Warrior. And then I realized in World of Warcraft, almost all pirates you fought against were like a Warrior subclass. So I was like, okay, I guess that kind of makes sense.
So definitely a good card for pirates.
Yeah. Face Warrior.
I like how she has like little jewels on her little claw hand.
Yeah.
Ooh, you get to go over the legendary.
Malkorok, 7-drop, 6/5. Rob will probably have something more to say about this because of his expertise in Warrior. You're sacrificing some stats to potentially get a good weapon, but you're not always going to get a good weapon.
But most of the time, you'll get a decent weapon.
I mean, if you get at least something that's 2 damage to durability, if you have something like that, I think he's worth it. Anything less than that, if you get a Rusty Hook, if you get a Cursed Blade, things like that.
Cursed Blade, ooh. He's a Blingtron, but only for yourself.
Yeah. And so his stats suffer, but theoretically he can be a tempo play because you can play this and potentially kill a card on the field. But Warriors don't really have a shortage of weapon. Why wouldn't you just play Gorehell for potentially 7? I mean, I don't know. You go over this. You're a Super Warrior guy, so what are your thoughts?
I mean, off the bat, of course his stats are going to suffer due to the fact that you equipped a random weapon. So let's assume he has a decent 7 stats. So he's either a 7/8, a 7/7, a 6/8, somewhere in there, let's say his stats. So he's suffering maybe in like a 1/1, maybe a 1/2, or a 2/1 in the stat area. But you're getting a random weapon. Most of the time, the weapons are going to fall in between a 2/3 or a 3/2, most of the time. Besides that, they only go up from there. And there's not a whole lot of weapons that are in the shitty area, besides maybe the Rusty Hook,
Light's Justice,
the Light's Justice, and the Curse Blade. So you've got like 3 weapons you don't want, but I'm pretty sure there's somewhere around 20 weapons in the game. I don't know exactly that number, but let's say 20-ish that are, in total, and 3-ish, maybe 3 to 5 are bad. So you're looking at like a 75% chance you're going to get a weapon that's going to give you more value than not. Plus,
that's the math there. 20 weapons, there's like 3 that are bad.
3 to 5. I was looking worst case scenario 5, 25%.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at worst case scenarios.
That makes
here.
sense.
Yeah. So in my opinion, I think he's pretty good. I mean, I'm gonna try him out for sure, and I'm sure I'll get Cursed Blade.
Siege of Orgrimmar.
I'm sure I'll get Cursed Blade a couple times, more than a couple times, probably the first 3 times, and I'll stop playing him, and then somebody will get a gore howl against me, and I'll cry. But either way, I think he's a really solid card. Of course, the stat. I wish if he was a 5/6, I would be much more satisfied than a 6/5. Only because a lot of 4-drop, a lot of 4-drops can trade into
4-drop 5/4s.
Yeah, 4-drop 5/4s.
There's a lot in this expansion too.
Yes,
there's at least 3.
So you're technically playing 3 mana for his ability. So, yeah, I think he's good.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
The weirdest cards somehow make it into meta.
Yeah. Oh, this is mine. Shifter Zeus.
I guess.
All right, so he's a 1-drop, 1/1 each turn. This is in your hand. Transform it into a random minion. Okay, so first off, let me just say the first comment we got on this when we posted it to our Instagram was, wouldn't the first minion he turns into, he would lose this ability and he would no longer turn into other minions, therefore he only technically turns into 1 and he's not that great. They made it so when he turns into a card, he keeps this ability and he continually turns into different cards every single turn, of course, until you play him. I'm not necessarily sure what happens when you silence this guy. Does he turn back into Shifter, or does he actually maintain the same form of the card?
Transforms, so it stays the card it is.
Okay, that would make sense, because following the Druid...
yeah, because if it said like become a copy of or something weird, they'd have to word it differently. Okay, but so because it says transform, it will, even if it gets silenced, just the ability of whatever card it turned into gets silenced, not its stats.
Yeah, because we know by Druid cards, Druids say transform, and when you silence a Druid card, let's say a Druid of the Claw, he keeps... Well, if you silence a 4/4, nothing happens. He just loses charge. But if you silence the 4/6, he still stays a 4/6. It just loses taunt. But it's interesting because if you silence a Ancient of War, he actually goes to a 5/5. Yeah, even though that says transform. Because that's inconsistency problems. Cause
does it actually say transform, or does it say now? I think they changed it so it says gain 5 attack. Or
I think it might be choose 1. They don't even specify. Now it's, yeah. Anyway.
That was a big deal that Disguised Toast made a big deal of. I think
Tony said
toasted bagel. I was a bit toasted bagel myself that night. I was
all right, so Shifter Zeus could be RNG.
Zeus. Yes. We need to speed this up. We were taking forever.
Sorry. We're at 24 minutes. It's not too bad. Anyway, we're at the neutral cards too, so this should be pretty speedy. Anyway, definitely an RNG-based card. He could turn into cards that are completely useless, or he could turn into the card that you need right on that particular turn you're looking to play a creature.
If you are RNG master, you'll like this card.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not bad, it's not great. It's all going to determine what the fuck this guy turns into and what turn you could possibly play him. Obviously, turn 2, you get a Knife Juggler, you can play him as a Knife Juggler. Turn 8 comes around, he turns into a Tyrion. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's all what this little fucker's gonna do. Little squirrely-eyed, whirling zip-o-matic, fucking Sharingan.
Rasengan. That's the Rasengan right there.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Twilight Geomancer. It's a 2-drop 1/4 with Taunt. Already better than the other. What is it? Goldshire Footman. Isn't he like a
Goldshire Footman is a 2-drop.
No, he's a 1-drop 1/2 Taunt.
Oh, you right.
But anyway. I don't remember which one I'm thinking of. Anyway,
you're thinking of the grunt. No, you're not thinking. I don't know what the fuck you're thinking
of. Actually, not that bad of a card. 2-drop with 4 health and Taunt. It's
okay.
Battlecry give you Cthulhu Taunt. So obviously you're playing some sort of control-based deck that is going to let you survive long enough to play Cthulhu. So cards like this are necessary, or the ability to survive is very important in decks like that revolve around the gods, because you need to make it to turn 10.
Yeah.
And be able to build things enough, like Yogg, you need to be able to survive and play spells. Cthulhu, you need to be able to buff him and survive.
Yeah. A lot of
they won't get any value.
A lot of the Cthulhu cards have taunt to them.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of taunt.
There's a decent amount of.
There's a lot of taunt this expansion.
Yeah.
That's to hopefully slow down.
So, but I don't really understand, like, if you're playing Cthulhu and you're buffing him, the field should be clear already. So if you get to play Cthulhu and clear field, you don't really need taunts unless you're protecting from the Gromash in a rage combo or something like that. I don't really see the point of taunt, but I guess it's kind of cool. I would just play just to survive in the Cthulhu deck, but yeah, it's okay.
All right. Doomcolor. He's an 8-drop, 7/9. He says, Battlecry, give your Cthulhu +2/+2 wherever he is, and if it's dead, shuffle it back into your deck. So, my only question is this. The ability is pretty straightforward. The stats are straightforward. The actual health and defense on this are pretty good. I mean, they're average. But the effect is, okay, so let's say your Cthulhu dies. And then you decide you want to reshuffle it back in your hand. Does he keep the stats?
I was thinking that. About that yesterday.
That's the only question I have. If he doesn't keep his stats that you've given him prior, then but it says wherever he is. So whether he be in the graveyard, like they said wherever he is, whether he's in the hand, the deck, or the graveyard, right? One would think wherever he is.
Okay, so theoretically, it keeps its stats.
Yeah.
But don't quote us on that because we actually really aren't sure. And I did not hear anything about that during the live stream.
Yeah, that's my only question. That's the first question you brought up. If he's already dead, is he back to being just a 6/6? Because if he is, that really is not that great. But if he continues, like, he's still like a 17/17. Hello? That's so
Another
good.
38/38?
Yeah, for real. It's like Cthulhu.
Dude,
Boom.
that 38/36 Cthulhu that was on stream.
That's huge.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
All right.
Crazed Worshipper.
Pretty good.
It's, yeah, it allows for some, like, fatiguing.
I like his whip. I really like that whip.
That is pretty cool.
That's like, it reminds me of Thundercats. I don't know why. I don't know why, but this picture, Thundercats. Ho! Okay, go on.
5-drop, 3/6 with taunt whenever. Yeah, another taunt one based with Cthulhu. Whenever it takes damage, give your Cthulhu +1/+1.
Wherever it is.
Most of the time, like creatures either. Most of the time, they only going to trade in 1 or 2 creatures, or use 1 spell on it, or polymorph it. So, I would rather play other cards that are better defensively. I mean, it's solid. It's okay. I don't know. I don't really like this card that much. You're not going to get a lot of value out of the +1/+1.
But you're forcing them to use something they may not want to use on this card just to stop you.
I mean, you can bait out things. It's true.
Yeah, I mean, his attack really isn't there, but I mean,
I'm neutral. I think it's okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay as well. I don't think it's overpowered. I don't think it's underpowered. I think it's okay. Ooh, this card. Really looking forward to the 1 for 1/1 Death Rattle. Give a friendly minion +1/+1. Really making a difference in the Hearthstone community.
The spacing on this card bothers me. Look at that.
Yeah, I see it.
They don't. What the hell is wrong with this one? Why are you fucking up, Blizzard?
I don't know.
That's not even a colon. That's not even a colon.
True,
no,
that.
that's a period. No,
that's a period.
No, they don't have colons on Taunt. Never mind. Anyway, this is bothering me. There just needs to be a space here.
Oh. Anyway, I think it speaks for itself. I don't think it's that. To me,
okay.
It looks like dog shit. I don't think this is a good card.
No. 2-drop, 3/1 neutral, Twisted Worgen. And has stealth. Even though he looks really angry and like he's screaming, that's not a very stealthy looking Worgen for me.
Maybe this is when he attacks.
Oh, so he's like a casual little puppy dog, and then he turns into this. He's like, oh, by the way, I'm going to fucking burst tentacles out of me, and with them knife and red-eyed.
Have you seen the first boss of Dark Souls 3?
Or Bloodborne?
He's immobile.
Father Gascon, remember?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, hey, I'm a demon hunter guy, or I'm a hunter, and I'm going to fucking all of a sudden explode into a werewolf. Yeah.
So, I mean, big things come in small packages.
I think this card is actually pretty good. It's a lot like the 1-drop 2/1 with stealth. What is that one called? Raging Worgen? Yeah.
No.
No, that's...
Worgen Infiltrator?
Yeah, that one. This is basically a leveled up Worgen Infiltrator. Still has the 1 health. So you're paying 1 additional mana for 1 additional attack. It's okay. There's not really any 2-drop stealth minions, so...
I think it's really good.
It's pretty good.
I think it can trade into most 3-drops. Sometimes trades into some 4-drops. Has stealth. So, I mean, obviously against a mage.
Just ping it off.
Yeah. So, against mage, obviously, I think it's a really good 2-drop.
An arena would be very fun.
I think it's a really good 2-drop. I think if it was a 3-drop, it'd be horrible. Absolutely trash. Like, the worst 3-drop ever.
It can kill a shredder in arena.
It can.
It's pretty nice.
It's a 2-drop. It's a 2-drop. 2-drop.
I like it.
All right. Cyclopean?
Cyclopean.
Cyclopean.
Like
I was close. I was close. I don't like the picture of this guy at all. It's like blurry to the left, clear to the right. I know what they're trying to do there, but that eyeball, man, it's freaking me the fuck out. Anyway.
I don't like it.
4-drop, 3/3 taunt, battle cry, gain +1 health for each enemy minion. This, it's good if your opponent has, a bigger field, but at the same time, if your opponent has that strong of a field, gaining +1 health for each minion may not seem that great. Its attack is also only 3, so it kind of reminds me of like the Twilight Guardian. But your opponent has to have at least 3 cards for it to be a 3/6 for a 4-drop.
I think in Wild, with all the token, like Muster for Battle, Implosion, things like that, it'll be pretty good in Wild.
Yeah, I think this is a good Wild card.
But there's not a terrible amount of token things going on with Standard.
Yeah.
I mean, there is the Warlock Forbidden spell that does all the tentacles, but I don't know. I think if they have a pretty formidable board, if it's a token deck, this would be good. If they summon a bunch of Wisps, because Wisp Druid is totally going to be a thing, then this will be buffed up pretty well and be a pretty good wall for them to try to get through.
Yeah. Meh.
I don't think it should be
not be an epic. Oh, wow.
Amgam Raider. It's Magma Rager backwards, by the way. If you didn't notice that. So Magma Rager backwards, it's reverse stats. It's basically a joke card. It's horrible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, actually it has 1 attack, so Hobgoblin Synergy, folks. Hobgoblin Synergy.
Wow. Wild players really need that.
Bog Creeper. 7-drop, 6/8 with Taunt. For a vanilla card, solid. Definitely good in Arena. Definitely good in Arena.
This is going to be like one of the best over, what is it?
Stormwind Champion.
Over Stormwind Champion.
I think that it's good. This is a good vanilla, good stats, has taunts.
There's not a lot of good upper level taunt cards in Arena at all.
Yeah, most of the time your value stops around turn 6 with Ogre Fist.
Yeah.
You maybe getting that 7-drop Stormwind Knight, maybe the Kraken.
Kraken is like one of the best Arena cards.
Yeah,
in my
North Sea
opinion.
Kraken's so good, but I mean that's only 1 card out of how many now that are in Hearthstone, so it's good to see higher drops up there.
Yeah.
And especially with
there's just so many legendary minions that are 7-drops or higher.
Yeah, especially with being a common. It's good.
Yeah. Squirming Tentacle, 3-drop, 2/4 taunt. Decent stats. Be solid in Arena, but not much to say.
Yeah. Midnight Drake, the opposite of Twilight Drake, and it says for 4-drop, 1/4 rare battle cry gain +1 attack for each card or other card in your hand. He's a dragon. Looks pretty cool, but in actuality, I think Twilight Drake is better. I value health more than anything, especially in Arena, and even in Ranked, it having only 4 HP, it trades the 2-drop Worgen card that we just went over. I mean, a 2-drop Worgen swings into it, and then a ping kills this card.
Think of Handlock. Handlock, they passive a lot. They don't have a way to deal with the board a lot. So if you're letting them develop the board just to be able to play a creature with huge attack, they're just going to swing 1 or 2 minions.
Yeah, swipe kills it or whatnot. But if you play a Twilight Drake, I mean, this also makes it so, like, let's say they don't have, the swipe or the Dark Bomb or Fireball or Frostbolt, that they're going to have to waste some of their bigger CC to take care of your 4-drop, 8/4. But I would much rather, almost, 90% of the time, would rather have a 4-drop, a 4/8 than an 8-drop or a 4-drop 8/4.
Well, a Twilight Drake, a 4/8, can trade with usually by turn 4. That can trade with like 3 or 4 minions.
Yeah. If they don't waste silence.
An 8/9, sorry, a 9/4 or an 8/4 can trade with a 4-drop.
Yeah, but it's cool nonetheless. You combo you combo this with Bran. It normally, let's say, has 6 or 7 attack. It now has 12 to 14 attack. They don't get rid of it, you lose. So I mean, there is plays that this can be good in. I would just prefer, most of the time, Twilight Drake is the better card. Fuck this card.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Nat the Dark Fisher. 2-drop, 2/4. Decent stats. At the start of your turn, of your opponent's turn, they have a 50% chance to draw an extra card. People are like, this card is horrible.
Wow.
It's...
Nat Pagle's horrible.
I mean, Nat Pagle's pretty bad. But in a mill-type deck,
Ooh.
That's the only reason you'd play this. Why would you play this not in a mill deck?
I mean, Tony, mill decks aren't even a thing in my head. Like when I think of mill deck, like it just doesn't register. I'm sorry, I've never played a mill deck.
Mill or fatigue. So getting this out of like your golden monkey at the end of the game when they're like
not that bad.
No, not at all.
Okay.
If they can't get rid of it right away and they're drawing further into fatigue, that's huge for fatigue warrior. Getting this out of monkey or even playing something like Mill Road Druid.
Good. And I didn't even see the fatigue in here or the mill. I don't know, man. Good.
So yeah, that kind of opens your eyes, and the stats are decent. 2-drop, 2/4.
Yeah,
Those
so
are
they're gonna want
super
to kill
solid.
it for sure.
Indeed.
Good stuff. The one time you're actually like avoiding drawing cards is when the Darkfisher comes out.
Yeah, exactly. So Nat Pagle is never good to get out of Golden Monkey, but corrupted Nat Pagle, great to get out of. Yeah.
Okay. 10-drop, 10/10, Faceless Behemoth. Bad.
Yes. Too expensive.
It's too expensive. 10/10. It doesn't really matter at 10-drop. I'd rather play the Bog. He has Taunt. He's pretty much able to trade whatever the fuck he wants, and he only costs 7
Arena,
mana.
It's way too slow for Arena.
Yeah, this is
You'd
not
rather
a
play
good card.
Kraken that can deal with something immediate on the board.
I think this is more so for the new card, the new priest card that summons a creature based on how much mana you spend.
Oh yeah, I mean it's
yeah.
Grotesque Dragonhawk, 7-drop, 5/5 beast with Wind Fury. People are like, oh man, Warriors got a new combo with Charge. You play this with Charge and it becomes a 7-drop with
14 damage.
14 damage combo for 9 mana? Or is Charge 3
10.
or 2?
It's 3.
So a 10, I mean.
It's a new Force of Nature Savage.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of cool.
It costs 1 more mana. Force of Nature Savage Roar, but let's say you discount it and you have the other charge in your hand, or you have like an Inner Rage in your hand, or you have a Taskmaster.
Honestly,
so
this card
I actually see some combos with Warrior with the Grotesque Dragonhawk. Let me tell you.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing as pairing it, like trying to pair Grom with a Taskmaster.
But why wouldn't you just play Worgen? Wouldn't Worgen or Raging Worgen be almost better because it has Wind Fury?
It
costs,
damage.
But when it enrages. Oh, and it only can take 2 damage. I think there's merit to playing either or.
Yeah.
All right, Duskmore. This is going to be some of the This is probably the most highlighted card and one of the most expected and
how many do we have left?
Anticipated cards in this new expansion.
Oh boy.
It's a 2-drop, 4/1, no ability, beast. Next.
I'll cover this one. Okay, good. I actually really wanted to cover this one. This will be my last one I'm covering, then I got to go. This is.
There's only like 7 cards left.
I got an exam in 30 minutes all the way at UCF.
All right, Lamau, you need to get the fuck out of here.
8-drop, 6/10, very good in Arena. I like this card. Obviously, you won't see much play in Standard or Wild. It looks very cool. I like this. I would pick this over Jormonger in Arena almost every single time. Because Jormonger is a 5/9, right?
Is it 6/10?
No.
Hungering Jormonger is a 5/9. Yeah, you're exactly right.
But for 8?
It costs 7.
7.
Okay. So you get 1 more. Nah, either or. I think either or.
They're pretty much the same card.
Yeah,
with
it's just a
+1/+1.
Yep.
I like it. It's a solid card. Good late game arena card, which people need. And the 10 health for 8 mana, pretty solid. So.
Yeah. All right, Tony. See you later. Make sure you leave the recorder here so I can make sure our viewers can see this. Good luck on your tests. I'm sure everybody else will wish you good luck as well. Marshall, if you'd like to take over. Let me move over here, guys, and we'll continue on. We're almost done, so I'll try to get through it as fast as possible. All right, so we have Evolve Coldblood. This guy is a 4-drop, 2/2, spell damage +2. He's fucking horrible. Picture looks pretty cool, but in actuality, I do not think this guy will see any play whatsoever. There's no point to play him. 4 mana for a 2/2 is just not good. The Berserker, 4-drop, 3/5, enrage +2 attack. He's not good. I would rather just play a Yeti, to be completely honest, because the Yeti's a 4/5 for 4-drop, and he doesn't have to enrage. But this +2 attack and rage is decent because they don't get rid of him right off the bat. Adios, Tony. They do have to deal with that 4-drop 5/5. So pretty interesting. I like that picture a lot, and the artwork is definitely pretty cool on this one. All right, so this is a card that is really cool in my opinion, and will fit into most Cthulhu decks from what it looks like. So it's a 7-drop 4/6. So it costs a lot, and the stats really aren't there, but it's the ability that really makes it, puts it together. So it's Taunt. It says, Battlecry, if your Cthulhu has at least 10 attack, summon another Emperor, which is basically the same card as this, same stats, has Taunt, just a different picture. So you basically get an 8/12 for 7 mana, and both of them have Taunt. And it says if your Cthulhu has at least 10 attack, which, it's really not that bad, because Cthulhu starts, I believe, at a 6/6, so you just need to play at least 2 Cthulhu cards by turn 7, and you can technically play this guy. And the fact that he has Taunt, if he didn't have Taunt, he'd be pretty bad. But the fact that he has Taunt, your opponent's going to have to get through 2 4/6 Taunt cards. So, and if he, remember, Battlecry, so you copy or combos well with Brand. So you actually can summon 2 of these guys. are 2 of the guys that it brings out. So you actually have 3 4/6s now. All right, so a 3-drop, 2/1 Disciple of Cthulhu. It says Battlecry, deal 2 damage, give your Cthulhu +2/+2. So of course the Battlecry deal 2 damage is really, really good. It's pretty much an SI agent without the combo. It's not a 3/3 though, but it gives you Cthulhu +2/+2. So I think it's good. I think it'll fit pretty well into many Cthulhu decks. It being a 2/1 is, if they made it a 2/2, it'd be way too strong. If they made it, a 1/2, it wouldn't be able to trade up. The 2/1 forces your opponent, let's say if you're playing against a mage, a rogue, a druid, they'll use their passive to normally kill this, but you've probably already been able to make the trade with this guy to deal the 2 damage with a card, they played, whether it be, 1 or a 2-drop. And then if you've given your Cthulhu the +2/+2, which is basically the whole point of your deck, is the card's based around buffing it. So really not that bad. If they would have made the stats on this card any better, they would be definitely probably one really broken 3-drop, and it would take away from SI Agent. So 2/1 is, I think, fair. This card, in my opinion, is not that great. It's Nerubian Prophet. It's a 6-drop, 4/4, and it says at the start of your turn, reduce this card's cost by 1. So basically, the best value you're going to get out of this card is a 3-drop, 4/4, and that means you'd have to have this card on your opening turn, which means this card is sitting in your hand for 3 turns doing nothing, and then you're playing a 3-drop, 4/4 when you can just play, what's it called? There's an Ogre card. It's not Boulder Fist Ogre, but it's I don't know, some ogre card. It's a 3-drop, 4/4, and it says it has a 50% chance to attack the wrong target. But, that card doesn't cost 6, and you can play it whenever you draw it. As this card, playing a 6-drop, 4/4 just feels so bad. So I'm sure it's not terrible, but it's pretty bad. It's not the worst card we've seen, but it's getting there. All right, next card. All right, so this card, pretty cool in my opinion. It's a 3-drop, 3/5, can only attack if your hero attacked this turn. It's a syphilitic swarmer, whatever. Can only attack if your hero attacked this turn. So in Rogue, like many players have stated, and I've heard, Rogue really, really good because as we know, with 1 hero power in Rogue can grant you 2 attacks with the dagger because the dagger is a 1/2. But in other decks, Druid or mainly just Druid, you use your passive, cost 2 mana, you can attack with it, and then you can attack with this guy. Keep in mind though, like let's say you bring this guy out and then you attack with your weapon. That doesn't mean that this guy automatically gets charged and you can attack with him. He has the normal, summoning sickness like every other card has. You have to wait a turn to attack with it. And he can only attack if your character has attack. So, playing him on Mage seems pretty fucking bad. Playing him, on a Warlock seems pretty bad. He only works well with classes that are able to have a weapon like a Warrior, or the Druid that can attack directly, or maybe a Paladin. But I think this card's best fit will be into Rogue, which is pretty interesting that they get a decent 3-drop there besides SI Agent. All right, so you have a 5-drop, 3/6. Battlecry, swap the stats with a friendly minion. If this said with an enemy minion, I might like it a little bit more because you could take like a card with like an 8/8 or something and give it a 3/6. But it's swap the stats with a friendly minion, so basically you can give, I don't even know what the fuck the point of this card is, to be honest. Nothing's coming up. Like I saw it played on like a Mana Tide totem, so this guy turned into a 0/3 and the Mana Tide totem gave a 3/6. But it's like basically so you can maybe attack right away. So you like play this guy, swap attacks with a minion that may not have that much, give it Wind Fury, but then why wouldn't you just play a card with Wind Fury to begin with? I don't know. I think this card's fucking trash, but that's just me. All right. 5-drop, 3/4, Taunt Divine Shield, Psychotron. He's a mech. He's basically the more annoying version of a Noyotron. He's 1 mana off of the, what's her name? She's a 6-drop, 4/5 Divine Shield and Taunt. So he's basically just 1 mana off the other card that's very similar to this. There's not much more to say about it. I like that he's a mech and they're bringing a Noyotron back, as that was one of the more signature mechs that came out. But besides that, I really don't see anything else. He also can't be taken by Shadow Priest, which is pretty good. So it kind of makes it so when people play the Psychotron, that doesn't get taken. All right, the Corrupted Seer. We're almost done, guys. Only 2 more cards. He's a 6-drop, 2/3 Murloc. Battlecry, deal 2 damage to all non-Murloc minions. So it's basically a Demon Wrath, but for Murlocs. I wish they would have made this card like 4 mana. Or maybe even 5 mana, because if you think about it, a Demon Wrath costs 2 mana, and this is basically a Cold Light Seer, which gave all your Murlocs 2 HP. So I understand what they're trying to do with taking away 2 HP from all non-Murlocs, but they made it in a sense that, like, even with the Demon Wrath attached to this, it would cost 4 mana, and a 4 mana for a 2/3 just seems so bad. The normal Cold Light Seer is a 3 mana, and it's a 2/3, and it says give all your Murlocs +2 attack. So basically, you're playing an extra mana on top. It's just bad. Like, this is a fucking it's a 6-drop 2/3. It's horrible. The effect is really cool, but it's horrible. All right, Bilefin Tidehunter. So this is a corrupted Murloc. 2-drop 2/1 Battlecry. Summon a 1/1 Ooze with Taunt. This guy is a Murloc, but the Ooze it brings out is not a Murloc, but it does bring out a Taunt, which protects your Murloc. So let's say you're playing against maybe a Paladin, a Rogue, a Warrior. They actually have to get through that Ooze. And it's a Battlecry, not a combo, so you can definitely play this guy right off the bat. I don't know what the advantage of playing this guy over the normal Tidehunter. I don't know what the advantage is there, besides the card having a Taunt, but you kind of want the Murloc synergy. So it's kind of questionable why you'd want this over that. But either way, it seems pretty cool. Not that great, though. And our last card, the Blackwater Pirate. It's a 4-drop, 2/5 Pirate, of course neutral, and your weapons cost 2 less. I don't know how many weapons you're playing per turn, but you only basically can play 1 until you override the next one. And I don't think this card is really going to live, across a whole bunch of turns to get a whole lot of value. So the best case scenario is you're going to be able to save 2 mana by playing this guy. And it's on turn 4, so it's not even like you're playing this on turn 1 or 2, and then you're playing a 4 or 5 drop weapon the turn after. You're playing this on turn 4, and then what huge weapon would you be playing the following turn? So turn 5, you can play Arcane Reaper, which is the first weapon that comes to mind for 3 mana, and then you play a 2-drop. Does it really warrant playing a 2/5 pirate that only has value when you have a weapon? Probably not. Seems pretty fucking bad in my opinion. But it's just bad. I don't see it. So with that, this pretty much ends all of the cards which we were going to talk about. I'm sorry this video is a little bit longer. We're at 47 minutes. Holy mother of God. So I'm sorry about that, but there was a lot of cards to cover. They're releasing, 10 to 20 cards per week for the past 4 weeks. And then they decide on one day they're going to release 60 plus cards. So yeah, I did my best to cover all that we could. There's only so much research we can do into this because there was so many cards. And with that, if there's anything we happen to miss or anything you want to add to anything we had mentioned that we might have missed out on due to the fact there was such a huge quantity of cards, feel free to leave that in the comment section below. We always look forward to reading your comments on these kind of newer videos going over the cards that have been revealed, as talking about these cards and looking at the synergies they could work with is almost as much fun as playing the game, to be honest. It's really exciting to see all these new cards entering the meta, or I should say the game, and then also standard mode along with the nerfs that they've announced. So this is going to be really exciting this upcoming 26th of the month, and I can't wait to start making some of these videos for you guys covering all this new stuff. So with that said, of course, guys, I'm Warshak. I'm Tony. And happy whatever the hell day it is.